What's up, everyone? My name's Chris Marshall with my boy Frank G. We are the hosts of Build Your Empire podcast. Frank G, tell the people what we do.
What's going on, everybody? Chris and I, we discuss established empires while showcasing us building ours.
Look, normally every Thursday we dive into some successful empire, such as a business, an entrepreneur, an athlete, an entertainer, something relevant in pop culture. But we're going to take a look inside our empire since we are building our empire, which could take, I don't know, how long do you think it's going to take, Frank?
Well, I mean, an empire could be built until the day you die.
Till the day you die. I mean, 29 years old. I like where I'm standing currently, but, you know, people who are 25 have made way more of an impact than I did currently.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you see people who already if you have a talent and you made millions already, that's a 0.01% at 25.
It all comes down to talent, and then you know what they say, hard work trumps talent, right? I mean, I believe that.
I do believe that, but I do also believe that it will take much longer, obviously.
Significantly longer. You know, that's why I'm noticing a lot of my peers or our peers within our age demographic. They're feeling some type of way of turning 30, whether it's because they're single, they're financially not where they're at, their career is not where they're at. And I look at 30 as a playground.
Amazing. Yeah. An awesome opportunity to have made it to.
Yeah, and I know what I'm building, I may not even accomplish until 44 years old, which gives me 15 years. And having that, you know, perception and perspective, it gives me the advantage, way more so than the next guy.
Yeah, to be honest, I turned 29 before you. You'll be 29 soon, and I'm excited for 30. I mean, 30 is the new 20s. And also as I'm getting older, you realize you truly do enter a different phase of life and a set of knowledge that you have. And that's why they say the youth is wasted on the young. If I had all this knowledge when I was 14, totally different story.
Yeah, that actually bothers me, right? Because I did music at 14. So if I had the knowledge I did now, I could certainly amplify my music career and kind of or go hand in hand together. Couldn't think of the words there. So I just
simultaneously. You almost said it.
Yeah, dude, damn. I mean, look, it does get me a little tight. And then when I see people who do music now, who I go on like their social media pages and they don't have content, it bothers the fuck out of me because ironically, it's interesting. We necessarily don't have talent, or more so me. I don't have a talent, but my talent is, I guess, sales, which means I'm reading people and how they move and interact. So it gives me a step or two in front of people.
Yeah, well, I mean, you obviously, we all have a talent. I mean, it doesn't, but maybe you don't have a talent with a clear way to make money, with a very clear way to make money. Like if you're a musician, you have a clear goal path. I mean, it may not be clear, but that's what you're doing. You have to figure out what your talent is.
I would say my talent right now would be sales and marketing, in the sense that I can get someone to read and see my messages when I'm communicating. Now, if I had a talent to go hand in hand with that particular talent, the two cohesive together certainly will just, I mean, they correlate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're both in sales. I would say my talent is as well sales, and from being a manager for a few years now, I mean, team building or, you know, rapport, certainly I feel like being in management for 3 years has made me way more likely to successfully build the team.
I mean, team building is kind of hard, though.
It is hard. It's very hard, and I've had plenty of teams that just didn't mesh well. That's one of the worst things you can have. Ugh.
It's funny, too. I was thinking earlier, I think I was in the shower. It's where I do my best thinking. And
mine's on the toilet.
Okay. I've I've cursed out so many people.
In the shower?
No,
Oh.
no. Well, I used to talk on the phone a lot in the shower until I kept breaking my phone. So
I was just gonna say, what?
this has to be the reason.
Very interesting. You did not put that together much sooner.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking how many people I've cursed out regarding business transactions, bad service, and I have no ill will towards them. Like I can curse you out, and then if you ask me a question on something I'm good at, I have no problem helping you. Like I'll tell you straight to your face, your service and your business communication absolutely blows.
Yeah,
But
I'd
you
say
as
that
an
number.
individual is okay.
Yeah, I'd say that number's in the dozens, multiple dozens. I've
For
heard
me
it
or you.
for you. I've seen you do it many times.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, I would say when you do it, you could be more aggressive than I could. I'm not saying you're aggressive, but I mean, I typically, I think you'll call them out more than I would.
100%. I'll call them out, and then yeah, I can get pretty mean, I suppose. But I mean, it's weird, right? Because like I have no hatred behind what I'm saying, but I
Yeah.
am purposely belittling whoever I'm speaking like that to because you probably did me wrong. So now it's an eye for an eye.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. That's actually something that I've had to kind of learn not to do. I mean, you can't belittle your sales team.
Well, that's different now. Now
It's
you're talking about a team. You never belittle your team, even if they do wrong. But it's
which of course will happen I mean, whether it's
gonna
a few
happen all the
times.
time.
Yeah, 100%. It happens to me I mean, not every day, but I'd say probably every month.
But wait a second. Let's bring this back real quick. If you have an individual who you constantly speak with
Mm.
regarding the same action, now what's the deal? Why can't you comprehend this? I don't understand. We went over this conversation 6 times. Is there something wrong with you?
So, I mean, if it's a constant thing, then clearly, I mean, and when you're in a company, obviously that's an HR issue. You can't. There's many steps to getting rid of someone. It's actually troublesome.
Well, that's what's interesting because you said one of your strengths would be team building, but your team building within a corporation that is providing you essentially leads to help team build. Now, team building outside on your own mission is a whole different ballgame.
Well, unless you have, yes, definitely a different ball game. But if you have a vision of what's going on, I mean, so working for this Salvatore Ferragamo, there's a vision of what I need to do. So it's much easier to build a team when you know the goal. So I'm assuming when you have your own goal, I mean, we're slowly team building, I guess. Shout
Shout
out
out
John
John
Paul.
Paul. Shout out John Paul. Yeah, I haven't given John Paul any work because I've been lazy on my end, not giving him timestamps, and he needs to understand exactly what to look for to
Yeah.
create the videos. Now, what I wanted to bring up here, if we're going to talk inside the empire, is there's 7 streams of income.
Hmm.
Can you name me all 7?
I mean, probably not correctly, but obviously you have your 9 to 5. You
That's
have,
called earned income.
yeah. Um, I mean, passive income. Now I don't know what that covers, but
I mean,
there's
that-
royalties income.
that's one. So that's 2. Passive income essentially is every other income except the earned income. So the other 6 streams of income is essentially passive.
Other than your earned income, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I don't know. Is the market separate? Probably not.
Nope, that would be capital gains. So that's the market. And then on top of that, you have your dividend income, which is a tax.
Dividend is its own category. You're
Correct.
saying. Yeah.
Because you have capital gains, meaning if I put $100 into Apple,
And then it rises.
that's my capital gain. But
But
Apple gives a
yeah.
1.2% dividend. So
Mhm.
it's almost like an interest putting money in the bank, which is another form of income, interest income. Then you have rental properties
I
and
was going to say rentals,
portfolio
yeah.
income. Now, at 29, I have 5 of these 7 streams of income. Now, they're not necessarily scaled to, large amounts, but nevertheless, they're streams of income.
I mean, yeah, at least you unlocked it at this time. I'm sure many people this age,
Don't
maybe
even,
two or one.
well, I just asked you, what are the 7 streams of income? And you more or less named about 3 or 4,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
you are very smart and you are in the game. You think like me. I would say the average person doesn't even know that many. Nonetheless, that there's 7.
definitely. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. When you, even speaking to people in your peers, I mean, me and you, we speak about these things. I mean, we're interested in these conversations. Not everyone you come across is going to be talking about, leveling up their incomes.
Or leveling up in general, right? I mean,
Yes.
I'm trying to get these Mario coins.
Yeah, essentially wanted to potentially do a Nintendo empire, but we decided we're going to talk about ourselves inside the empire.
Tell them why we're not talking about the Nintendo empire.
Frankie Facts doesn't have any facts today for you guys.
Yo, I'm so happy that you took accountability, man. You really do know how to build a team and take charge. I tell you, man, because I bet you are like every other asshole fool manager who tells their team, listen, guys, accountability is important.
I don't have that catchphrase, that's for sure. I don't have that catchphrase.
I tell my manager, my boss, I'm like, look, man, do not sit there and tell me about accountability. I'm a grown ass man.
Yeah.
I know what to do. If I'm not doing well, I'm not making money. Therefore, I'm upset. I don't need you to tell me I'm not accountable for myself. And he understands completely.
Well, that's because you guys have, I guess, a good relationship.
Yeah, of course. But like when I worked at Yelp, one of the values, now this is a company core value. There's 4 or 5 of these bastards. And one of them, accountability. I roll my eyes. I'm like, oh, you fucking asshole. Because then that is literally leverage to hedge themselves to get rid of you when you're not listening and abiding by.
Yeah, that's all sales jobs, man. That's all sales jobs. They literally make
you're
you
not accountable.
Yeah. See you later. Whenever they want. That's why they do that.
Yeah, but you know what? Now I'm ahead of the curve where I could be like, yo, I'm a grown ass man, right? Like I'm accountable for myself. And then I could recite this back to them and then essentially flip it if you were confident looking them eye to eye. I mean, that's a whole different episode right there on how to manipulate and sell through body language in that regard. But going back to the streams of income, this one's interesting, right? Because there's 2 streams that are difficult to obtain and certainly take longer to obtain, and that's the rental properties along with the royalties. Rental property is just a capital and risk and balls move. I mean, I'm looking at it right now, but if the market keeps falling, that's out of the equation. And then when it comes to royalties, you have to invent something. That's hard.
Yeah, you have to invent something, or I guess start a company with, like you said, I guess you invent the product, and then someone's buying you out or helping you. Yeah.
Which is ironic that we were talking about Monopoly the other day. I've been fiending to play Monopoly. I almost want to call you and a bunch of my friends to play Monopoly.
What a long ass game that'd be.
Fuck it. We get a little wasted, get a couple little twisted teas or something, and play Monopoly. I tell you right now, though, I'm the schnauzer.
I'll tell you what, I'm bringing Nooners, not twisted teas.
I mean, I was saying twisted teas because we may have females at the party.
I hope she likes Nooners better because I like Nooners myself.
Yeah, except they're limited. Nooners and Ciroc goes to me.
Yeah, that's true. They are. It is limited access to those 2 drinks.
Yeah.
Certainly we get on Monopoly though. I always liked you said the Schnauzer. Damn, that's my piece.
That's
I'll
clearly
take.
my piece.
I mean, I picked him up with you. Maybe I even paid for
What do you say? Maybe you did.
him.
You lent me the monies.
I did. I guess it was my dog for like 24 hours or maybe like 15 hours.
It was your dog probably for like 2 hours.
Was it? Yeah, I'm sure I didn't wait till
There's
the
no
next day to tell you that.
yo Venmo me 2,500. I got you.
Thanks for putting some deposit in the bank for me.
But what's interesting, yeah, I got you. You know, your stack of ones that you had carrying your room for no particular reason.
Yeah.
I was so we were talking about Monopoly, and we were stating how I said how it was a good business move because the owner, well, yeah, the owner of the patent bought the game in like 1903 from the creator for $500, which I'm
But
sure is a shit ton of money.
yeah, well, that's also confusing me off the bat because so someone, what this guy created a title and then someone finished the game.
So what happened was it was like Monopoly is supposed to be, it was a teaching moment. So some
Mm-hmm.
teacher or accountant created the game to showcase how taxes work.
It's actually phenomenal.
Yeah. And then somebody, I guess later on, came in and found out, oh shit,
This is
I'm,
fun and I could make money.
and there's multiple purposes. You're learning as well as having fun.
Yeah.
He bought the rights and then blew Monopoly up. Now, I think that's a great business move. Now, this has happened over and over and over. It happened with that game Spike Ball. It happened with famous Amos cookies.
You know this one specifically. I don't even know what those cookies are.
You never? Oh, yeah, you do. You know what famous Amos are?
Is that the yellow bag?
Yeah.
All right. Makes sense then.
In fact, that guy, I was watching The Office, and he was in the episode I was watching like yesterday. He came by, and it was
Selling
funny. Yeah, well, yeah, he came by to give a speech, and he had like a cart with it was covered, and everybody was like, "Are those cookies under there?" And he was, and before he could say, he's like, "Yes," and then he never gave his speech. Everyone just took the cookies and pretty much left.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Aaron goes up to him and is like, "I have a great idea. I have a great cookie idea." And he turns and he goes, "Don't tell me it's oatmeal without the raisins." And she just said, "I'm sorry for wasting your time."
Oh man, The Office, one of the best shows, man. One of
Best
the
shows.
best
Best
sitcoms
shows.
out there.
Facts. Anyway, so Famous Amos actually went on Shark Tank as well. And it's sad because he created his own cookie business because somebody swooped in and bought Famous Amos, whatever the hell you call it, and he doesn't own it. He did like the worst possible deal. And what sucks even worse
On the show, he
is
did.
his no on Shark Tank. So he created and invented
Yeah.
Famous Amos cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Then he sold the rights to the name and the patent or the ingredient, whatever it is. So he can't sell those anymore. And he had to create his own new cookie, which he then went on Shark Tank for to try and sell that idea.
So he initially had a successful cookie recipe and
Very successful.
presentable. Yeah. And then he sold it for minimal gain.
I don't know. I think he ended up getting fucked over. I don't think it was a good business move on his end. It was a pretty sad Shark Tank episode.
A lot of them are sad.
I don't even think he received a deal. But what sucks most about this is that he sold his name. His name is Amos.
Oh, silly.
So he can't even create. So the leverage and the value is in that name.
Yeah, you can't even do something like Baked by Amos.
No, otherwise he gets sued by terrible business is cutthroat.
Poor guy.
Make sure, yeah, man. He's an old guy, nice guy. I felt bad. Shark Tank was like, you got fucked, and I don't want to invest in this.
Because you'll probably fucking get fucked again or somehow fuck
Yeah,
me.
I mean, because in the end, you have business people, and then you have just people who are good at their crafts, people who love cooking, people who love making music, but they're not good at business. And man, that's tough.
Well, because when you're good at business, you could generalize your field a lot. I mean, pretty wide. When you have a craft, that's like your talent that you hope you discover early to make money.
Yeah, but it's weird, man. I mean, someone can come up to me with a business idea that is cookies, and I can look at it and identify the strengths and weaknesses and kind of, you know, think that I can kind of understand whether or not this is a good or a bad investment. And then you can come to me with light bulbs, and I can look at the market that way.
Yeah, well, to me, it's maybe I'm incorrect here, but cookies, inventing a new cookie brand is to me like inventing a new soda.
It's a terrible market because of how large it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and now you have all these bakers that are coming up doing their like own thing. Like I said, Baked by Melissa or the Prez Barstool does cookie tasting now. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So it's a really tough business. And the cupcake industry was a boom like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago,
yeah, Baked
right?
by Melissa got killed that one.
That
That's
sounds so
everywhere.
familiar.
Yeah, it's usually in the airports. It's the tiny, tiny cupcakes where you could try one of each because they're not like a lot of calories.
So the problem with that is, all right, you have Baked by Melissa, but do you know? I mean, that's one in like 100, 200,000 that was able to scale that
Oh
way.
yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, she was innovative with the idea. I've never seen that before. You make
So
24 flavors of a cupcake and then you make them small enough where you could try every single one.
that is the only way that you can probably get it out that way,
Yeah.
because the amount of dollars that it takes for marketing purposes to, just have a brand and expand the reach to convert, it's almost, dude, to have a cupcake or cookie store, it doesn't make sense. Like, I tried, right? I was gonna buy an ice cream store. Ironic, because that's how me and you met.
That is true. We did meet at Carvel, but
I was
isn't that about location, location, location?
whether you could spin it however you want, but the
Mm.
problem is with those items, they're so cheap,
Yeah, I was
right?
just gonna
they're
say
they're a dollar.
inexpensive,
They're two.
inexpensive. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the word. They're $1, $2 at most, $3. Your margins are probably, let's say, a good margin, 40%.
yeah,
So
that's
I
very
mean,
true. It's very
you
true.
have to flip thousands
Well,
of whatever.
yeah, and to be honest, when we worked at Carvel, I felt like the only times our bosses went on vacation was after Father's Day or Mother's Day when they sold like $8,000 of ice cream.
So Carvel that actually was a great ran business. I mean, it makes sense why they kept it for so long.
Of
It was,
course.
I mean, they'd get a bag of cream for $60 and then flip that bag
Oh,
of cream. Yeah, I think it had 400 ice cream cones, something crazy like
yeah.
that.
And if it was, and if you left, if there was left over, you just make hard ice cream with it.
Yeah, that was a great business. And what's interesting is, because of that experience, my first job working at
Mm,
Carvel scooping ice cream with you,
yep.
I later was prepared and knew what I was getting into when I was thinking about buying an ice cream store.
Well, yeah. I mean, you kind of knew what came along with it. You knew
I
how.
knew everything. I knew how to operate the store. I knew,
Mm,
like, what the store
yeah,
should
we
look
ran that
like,
store.
what
We
what
ran the stores. We ran
completely ran
Carvel.
the store,
Yep.
which is wild.
I guess that was part of our building. Um, one of our first jobs. It was,
It's all a part of it. It's levels.
yeah. I remember I had to take a test to get my food license, and you were just like, "No, not gonna do that."
They never asked me to do it, but they kept making me do. Like, I kept closing store. Yeah, that was fuck those guys. They fired me for no fucking reason. Pieces of shit. Bro, every time I've gotten fired, I
What?
swear I was fired unethically because I eventually crossed the line where the person in charge did not like me because they crossed me in some regard.
Yeah, well, that's all comes back to if you want to be free, you be your own boss.
I got no problem having a boss. I have no problem being a subordinate. I have no problem with discipline. But be respectful. Don't be a dick. Because
Especially when you're young. I mean, we were 18. This guy's 65 years old stealing our pennies.
stealing out tips, and I fucking said something. A week later, he fired me. Like, fuck you.
I'll tell you what, though. I've certainly accidentally left that freezer open twice, losing them hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
I've never made that mistake once, and I was the one who got fired.
I'm pretty sure the kid that we both knew who worked with us had to clean up my mess because I was leaving.
Oh, man, I'd be so pissed.
Yeah, pretty sure that was Mike.
Shout out, Mike. Mike
Sorry about that, buddy. You were nice and a team player, though, I will say. I remember that.
Mike was the man. Mike was the man. I think he helped me get the job. Shout out, Mike. Appreciate you, Mike.
Carvel days. My second job. I was in a pizzeria before that, which sucked, to be honest, way worse than an ice cream spot. At least ice cream's cold. I'm burning my arms everywhere.
That is not true because the fucking asshole owners didn't even have heat. I remember working.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I remember working July it was so bad.
Dude, I think it worked in our favor with tips. People would come in and give me $5 and be like, yeah. They'd be like, tell your boss to get an air conditioner. Here's $5. Like, I'm gonna keep it, but
oh, jeez. Listen, before we end this show, because it's coming to an end, I want the listeners to understand this, and I hope young listeners are listening right now. When I was 18 years old, I was getting in trouble. My parents literally said, you have to get a fucking job. I had $130 to my name, and I just got a $50 ticket. So now I have $80 to my name. Within a couple of years, I was able to get 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand. So, I mean, it starts with a job, and then you just scale. And then the more money you have, it is way easier to make money. That's a fact.
Absolutely. And when you're young and, you know, you have a job, it's very important to realize what to spend your money on and what not to, and what's not a priority and what is. So, you know, I wish you all the best, and leave us comments, DM us. Instagram's on YouTube. We'll talk to whoever wants it, you know, any advice.
Yes, sir.
Peace.